Okay, welcome back to another close to home adventure here on the country roads of Iowa. I'm out for a quick afternoon ride to explore a little local history. I've been looking on some county maps, digging around, seeing what I could find, and got a couple spots I want to check out. So just be a quick ride today, quick adventure. No camping this time, but we're still gonna get out and see some things this afternoon. Fall color. It's kind of near the end, but it's still holding on in some places, and other places it's completely given up. And the wind, it's whipping out here today. I'm not sure if hopefully the mic is doing its job, but we're battling. We're out here battling the wind, into the wind on the way out, back home with the wind. Let's get riding. I'm gonna battle and crawling along here, but we'll stick with it until we get to the next stop. Well, I've reached my farthest point north that I'm gonna go now, so it was a grind. It was a grind, but hopefully I can get some wind, tailwind now behind me and start getting to the first stop. Only got about a couple hours of daylight left, or maybe less than that, so hoping I can make up a little bit of time here. But it's still kind of a pretty day, even though the sun is gone under the clouds and it's gone from being a really nice morning to kind of a blustery cold afternoon, but we'll still enjoy it. Tomorrow it's supposed to get really cold and rainy, so this is maybe the last time I'm going to be out in decent temperatures. So I'm going to keep riding to the first stop and see you when I get there. Well, I made it to the first stop, but there's really not much here, and I'm assuming it's because, if you can't hear in the background, there's a 4-lane highway that runs on this corner of where this old school would have been. And from what I can find, it closed in 1957 and was opened around 1875. And I'll try and, I think there might be some pictures for this site that I'll include here, but my guess is probably the school either moved or was torn down or closed because the highway went in. The map that I found was from the 1920s, and the road, the highway was here, or a main road anyways. I'm sure it was not 4-lane in the 20s, obviously, because cars were not that prevalent back then. So I'm sure once the highway went in, the school closed, or was maybe already closed at that time. And I don't know if they moved the building or if what happened. So I'll try and find some more information out and hopefully insert that here. Otherwise, it's getting cold. And so I'm gonna get going to the next stop and hopefully eat some food there, eat my lunch, and get a little energy going and ride that tailwind back into town. So let's get going. So here we are at the second stop, and I have been here before. I actually stumbled upon this on one of my rides a few years ago, and that's what kind of got me interested in kind of exploring local history and checking out some of these sites that are out here. And it has been restored to kind of a museum quality. There are pictures, I think, online, and it is open for appointments. To view on the inside, but they've got pumpkins, so they keep it festive, and they put some fall leaves in the windows, just like they would, kids would have years ago, to decorate for Halloween and for fall. And there are some pictures of what it looked like back when kids still went to school here. As you can see, this is probably a later picture here with the furnace. They probably used wood stove back before that. And what's kind of cool is the people that used it at one time, or that owned the property, left the house and left the schoolhouse here, and then used it to store hay, which it's amazing that it was able to be restored after all hay and just the dirt and grime and moisture from all those years storing it didn't completely destroy the building to the point to where they had to tear it down. Old outhouse here. I don't know if this was put here to make it look like it did back when it was still in operation, or if maybe that was the original. My guess is that it was probably put there in order to bring it up to a museum quality experience. So I'm going to take a break here, get out of the wind here, and I'm going to enjoy. I thought, since I'm visiting, school sites, it got me kind of thinking of back when we used to do field trips back in my elementary days, and we'd take a sack lunch with us. So I packed some things, kind of a nostalgic lunch of what I used to pack, or what my mom and dad used to pack for me when they'd send me off on these field trips. So I had to put my name on there, just like we would have back in school. And so my mom always packed a peanut butter sandwich, just a plain peanut butter sandwich. No jelly ever. I don't know if that was just for messiness to keep it clean, or because maybe we only had peanut butter in the house and no jelly, but peanut butter sandwich. And we always got to pick out, a little bag of chips. And so I just went with the classic barbecue potato chips. And then usually had a fruit cup or a piece of fruit, I think. So I threw an apple in the bag. And for dessert, they used to have these single packs of Little Debbie or Hostess snack cakes. And so I decided to go with one of those, and I went with the Hostess cupcake. I think that was one that I always used to pick because we didn't have these around home. And so this was always a treat. So I'm looking forward to this to see if it still tastes like it used to back when I'd take a field trip. So I'm gonna sit and enjoy this and then get riding home, because sun's going down and it's still cold. Probably should not have gone with shorts today, but might be the last time that I get to wear shorts for the year out on a ride. So I'm gonna sit and enjoy this, and then hit one more spot and then head for home. So it's a couple days after the ride, and I just ended up heading straight home. I got too cold and just decided to head for home, but I wanted to properly close out the video. I did stop at the third site that I wanted to see. And it was a site of a former school, but just like the first one, there was no indication of there being any building there, no foundation, no markers of historical markers or anything like that. There were just a bunch of hay bales in a field, like there'd never been anything there. So kind of uneventful, but just still cool to think that there was a school there at one point in time. And it was fun to check out those other sites, even though there wasn't anything there. And so I'll have to continue researching and looking at old maps and trying to find different places, churches, cemeteries, and other things like that to go visit on my rides. It just makes the rides a lot more interesting. So even though the weather turned out to not be as great as I thought it was going to be when I headed out, one benefit to that was really awesome sunset that I got to look at on pretty much the entire ride home. And so I was grateful for that even though I was kind of whooped, I was getting tired towards the end there. I had that view to keep me motivated and keep me heading for home as it got dark. So I'll go ahead and close this one out with some sunset shots on the ride home. And I hope to see you soon for another close to home adventure. See you next time.